Hello.
Hello.
We're here to do another episode of helping you say yes to the deck. So we're going to get right into it. Everybody, we have Tamipie with us and I'm so excited. Thank you for joining us. It was a bit of a, what is the word I'm looking for? It was a
hot mess.
It was a hot mess, but we're here now and it's working and we're happy about it. Thank you for joining
it's miraculous.
us.
It's a miracle. This is the miracle video because you had to try what 4 times.
It was more than 4 for sure.
I went over there. I went and took a break. It's like I'm just gonna sit over here because I'm not helping.
Yeah, but we sorted it, and we're here now, and I'm so glad.
So help me spend money.
My favorite thing to do is to spend other people's money. So I am here for this. Peggy's probably going to try to talk you out of it. For a while
there, I was like, welcome to the game show where you have to buy your own prize.
That's how it works.
Pretty much
it works. The situation. I'm so excited, first of all, that you're making YouTube videos now. I know I've said it before, but I need to say it again. And you're enjoying it? You're enjoying having your own channel and doing your thing?
I am. I think there comes a moment where you're kind of like, am I really doing this?
I know.
Because it starts kind of taking over a parking space in your brain.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. It lives rent-free in your head.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like,
totally.
Absolutely.
And you just got to learn to live with that new neighbor.
The new neighbor that is YouTube in your brain. Yes.
But it's fun. It's a great way to reach out.
Yeah, it's fun, and then we get to see all your practices and stuff. Which I think my whole thing with YouTube is that I'm just super nosy and I want to know everybody's stuff. I really want to know all the things.
Oh yeah, she's like,
I'm perfect for that.
I need to be up in your business.
And big in your screen so you can see people's tarot shelf behind them.
I love that you can do that now on the phone. You can like, whoop. I love the word "embiggen." That's now my new favorite. Yeah, embiggen your screen.
Okay, so basically, you two are voyeurs. Just like the smile.
It's not wrong.
And you're also exhibitionists. Here, come see mine.
Yeah, like it's only fair. If I'm gonna nose in all your stuff, you can look at all of mine. Like
absolutely.
Show me yours.
That exact energy. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
So you have a short list of decks that we're gonna look at today.
Yes.
Are we going to jump right into it, or are we going to interrogate you a little bit?
Is there like a theme or any kind of like overarching thing you're trying to accomplish, or?
Well, my collection is kind of medium sized, because I only like to keep certain ones in certain storylines, I guess.
Okay.
I want to be able to just, be in a mood and go and grab.
Yes.
Right? Rather than, oh my God, where did I put that? And is it in a box here or shelf over there? As it is, sometimes I got to like put some aside just to not be a little overwhelmed, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
However, with some artists like Robert and Place, I want everything he's done.
I understand. Okay. Yeah, I understand. I'm like that with some creators too.
Right. So 3 of the decks are decks that I don't think I have anything really like. I did pull a couple decks because I know you asked that question.
Ooh, so you're getting ahead of the curve.
Yeah. And I want all these things.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what you're working with.
So that's what you're working with right now. So what's your budget?
Do you have a budget?
Do you have a budget?
I like to keep it between $50 and $100 American.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. And what's the other question right off the top of my head? I don't think I have a lot of questions. The interrogation starts later once we've seen the first deck or two,
Oh, is it mixed tarot and oracle? I think it is, right? You've got one.
Yeah, there's one oracle.
3 tarot.
Okay.
I can see the tabs right there, so it's like,
well, you've got the distance vision and I don't, so it's kind of blurry for me.
I've got distance vision. She's got blurs.
I should wear my glasses.
So right now, we're looking at where you're trying to keep it between 50 and 100. Now, what you said your collection is medium. How many decks is that?
Like 215 around.
Okay. Does that mean I have a medium collection? I have a medium collection.
It depends on
I like this definition.
Whoa.
I
the
like
size
this.
of the collection depends on the size of your house and the tolerance of your spouse.
You said I could move into the hallway.
I said you could go live in the car.
You said I could move you said I could move my decks down the hallway. You said it on video. There's proof.
When did I say that?
You said, I don't care how much wall space you take up. You literally said that. If
I changed my mind.
You can't change your mind.
This isn't about you.
I know,
We're here for Tamipie today.
I'm sorry.
It's not about you.
Yeah, there's been this conversation at my house also.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
They're everywhere. What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
So do you ever collect just for the sake of collecting? You said the Robert M. Place decks you would collect, you would get them, but would you? So
No, really, I don't.
Okay.
I like to be able to use all of them. Yeah.
Okay.
And I do.
Okay.
I love to use like the weird stuff and
Cool.
I use everything.
Okay.
All right. So with that in mind, which one do you want to look at first?
Let's look at the Robert M. Place first.
Okay. Let me
That's Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery, right?
Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery, yes.
First of all, I have the alchemical tarot that is in this nice packaging. I love the new packaging. I love the new cardstock. I love that they're gilded. I kind of looked at the French version, but
oh, is this the matte cardstock? Like
yes,
the alchemical magnum opus in this.
Yes.
Yeah, it is really lovely. This is really pretty.
It's nice.
So, alchemical, I had the 4th edition, and I got the 5th edition just because I wanted all the new bells and whistles.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love both of them. I keep both of them.
Oh,
and those are the cards?
Yeah.
Right. And the alchemical, when I first got it, came with its own little book, which I read with that deck. But I have the new big book.
The big book's so good. It's so
and
good.
I need the other deck to even get into the book. Weirdly.
I kind of understand that.
Okay,
I
that
used
makes
it
sense.
with just the alchemical tarot.
You know what I mean? It's like not having all the game pieces.
I know.
For some
It's
reason
like
for me.
the completionist piece is like, it's this book you have. This is such a good book. It's such a good book.
Well, my second
really
edition.
intimidating, but it's not at all. It's really good. So this for you would be kind of like completing a set for you. Oh, let's pull it up. Yeah. Yeah.
So first of all, the packaging is just really cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I know. I love it.
The cardstock is really nice. It's swishy. This feels like the same one as Spirit Keepers, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It does. Yeah.
And the gilding, gilding doesn't bother me anyway. A lot of people have a problem with it, but I don't.
Sometimes it can be sharp. That one's not sharp.
No, it didn't feel sharp to me. It's a little lippy, a little more than like, but no, it's fine. It's great.
How often do you use that deck?
Often enough. Maybe, as much as I use any other kind of favorite deck, I use this one and the other edition. The other edition's a little older, and the cardstock's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I just want to pull that one out, but I really love this new cardstock.
So you use them.
It's already got chips on the.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got 2 different editions and use them both.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
Usually if I have a different edition, I only get one of them really seasoned.
Yeah, you just usually end up putting one away. So you would essentially have 3 editions of the same deck.
No.
Wait.
No, Sevenfold Mystery has some similar cards, like say the Four of Cups is very similar. It's got the same elephant, but the elephant's standing on different jugs.
Got it.
Okay. So it's updated art.
It's a different deck. It's a different deck, but it's similar.
He's saying a different thing. Robert M. Place layers story on top of tarot.
Oh, okay.
So the alchemical is layered with alchemical, and the I think the Sevenfold Mystery is supposed to be like the 4 levels of the spirit or something along those lines.
Interesting. Okay.
He does that whole parade of majors.
Got it.
Right. Okay. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the nuance intended by the creators. So I get that. I absolutely understand where you're getting at with that. So I spotted the price as Lisa was rapidly scrolling through looking for more pictures. So it's like, I think it was 40 plus 10 for delivery.
Yeah. So
Which
it's
is
on the low end of the budget for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
that's at
that
the low end
seems-
of the budget.
Well, my problem with Robert and Place is I go to the website and I want to buy 4 things,
yeah,
you know, and I can't do that. I have to stick with the one.
true.
Okay. Well, I don't have a lot to say yet because I never do until I have at least 2 to compare. What about you?
Yeah, I think we need another one
Lisa's
to
just
look
buy
at.
them all. Buy them all. Just get
Not
them
yet,
all.
not yet. I'm being restrained. I'm being good so far.
So far.
Yeah, we'll see how it lasts.
You're barely helpful.
I know. So
Okay.
which one do you want to do next to kind of maybe start to compare a little bit?
Let's do the Hellenic Oracle because that one is, last year I sold my Tarot of Delphi.
Okay, this one.
I know. Can you hear the shock in the room? But someone offered me crazy money for it, and I really needed the money at the time. So
like,
I said,
you know what?
I've used it for years, and I'm all right with that.
Yeah,
no
harm, no foul on that. I mean, people trade decks all the time for all kinds of reasons, and they don't need an excuse.
Yeah.
So.
It's really hard to get these
so
images.
This has a lot of that same artwork, the Waterhouse artwork, that romantic.
So
and
so it would be replacing a favorite.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and also this one, this is by. Remind us who this is by. In the I can picture her face, and I'm suddenly having it. Thea, the Garden Party Tarot. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was just like having this whole. I was like, I can see her in my mind.
I know,
she created
so
this deck.
Isn't she?
Yeah, and this deck
human
is really
being.
This doesn't have any. Peggy won't be able to see, unfortunately, so I'm just gonna tell you so you know. There's no keywords on this. There's just what is the text on the cards? Is it just like individual deity names?
It is, and what she did was she put them in Greek because it's all Greek mythology.
Right.
So she wrote it in Greek first and then gave you the English version of the name underneath that.
Right. So this is an oracle, and there's a lot of cards, yeah?
Yeah, I believe there's 100 in the main deck and then another 50 or 54 in the expansion.
Okay.
There's an expansion pack, babe.
There's a booster pack.
Yeah.
Talk about booster packs.
You know, Lisa, you have the Tarot of Delphi. You know that 10 of Swords?
Yeah.
With the she's got that one in the new expansion.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay. So if you get this, you would be getting the booster packs.
Yep.
Gotta get them all, and the booster packs are extra cost.
So what's your total? What would you be all in for?
That's going to drive the price way up. How many?
It is. That puts me at over 100, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you get the booster packs, how many cards are in the deck then?
150.
154, I think.
154, yeah.
154.
So 100 in the base deck, and then 54 in the
So it's replacing a favorite. It's a lot of cards. It's the equivalent of getting 2 decks by the time you're done.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
But it's outside your budget. You know what my first impulse to say is, though, is that this is on make playing cards, which means you can go get it whenever you want. And unless there is a personal reason, the creator has no reason to ever take it off the market.
That's true.
Fair. That's fair.
Which means that it's over your budget. Unless there's some mitigating factor, and I will not get into the booster cards, the booster packs, because
would you get it without the booster? Would you consider getting it without?
Yeah, I could.
Okay.
You know, there's other make playing cards.
But then you pay shipping twice if you get it later.
This type of art style you can find elsewhere if that's what you're looking for. As an oracle deck, it's not. You're gonna have to deep dive to know the meaning of every card. Do you even have the bandwidth for that kind of a study?
You know what? I knew you were going to ask this question.
You did do your homework.
And the fact of the matter is, I'm pretty familiar with Greek mythology.
Okay, so this
isn't going to be the total learning package for me. I'm already kind of up the hill quite a bit.
Okay.
Cool.
It enlarges my knowledge, expands my knowledge.
Okay. Well, then my suggestion here goes to 2 extremes. Either skip the booster pack so that it stays in budget, or go for the booster pack, but don't get it. This is not the deck you should be getting next because it's outside of your budget.
Yeah, those are both good points.
Yeah, it's an extreme but there's no like I said, unless this author has a reason to take down the deck, it's not going anywhere probably ever.
Yeah, so, I don't see her changing much in the next couple of years anyway.
No, and she just did an update, right?
Well,
so you've got some time before there would be even another update, really, probably to the deck,
for me, the minute there's a budget, I always go straight to the budget because there's always special occasions, special events. Maybe this is the deck you ask your family to buy you for your birthday or Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you're not going without, but you're putting it off. And like I said, if other people in your life are willing to buy it for you as a gift or go together as a gift or whatever, you can still get it without. True. So there's other, it would be a good, like, there's other avenues and ways to acquire this deck while keeping your budget in mind, because I hate advising anybody to go over their budget.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you right now, you go over budget, end up not liking the deck as well as you think you did, and you're going to be kicking yourself in the ass forever.
That's true. I've done that.
It's
not a good feeling.
Okay, everybody does it. Everybody does it sooner or later, but if $5 over budget versus almost doubling your budget is two different problems.
Yeah. Very much.
But it's your choice if you want to knock it out of the running right away, or whether, like I said, I would not recommend this deck under any. I would not consider the deck unless you're willing to buy the deck first and then go back for your expansion, your booster packs later.
Because that keeps you in budget. But then your shipping is double in the long run.
But I see the look on your face, and I don't think you want to do it that way.
I don't want to do it that way. No. I would rather wait and get the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. Does your family buy you tarot related stuff as gifts, go in together or whatever? Like that could be.
Some families don't, so it's a good question.
No, some people don't.
It is a really good question.
No, my husband will not buy me one because he doesn't think I need anymore.
I relate.
But I can push my kids around pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would buy her an occasional deck, but it's like that.
You'd have to ask the internet.
I'd have to ask the internet. How do I ask thousands of people on the internet, but don't tell my wife?
All right.
I mean, I believe in you.
I would recommend that you knock this one out of the running right now. It's not going It's not going anywhere. But I mean, then you've got the opportunity to save up.
Yeah, and then plan for it.
Save up. Wait for income tax time or whatever special occasion gets you a few extra bucks. Get it later when get it later when you have a reason to give yourself a bigger budget that day, that week, that month.
Yeah.
When I grow up, I'm going to be fiscally responsible. I promise.
I say the same thing.
I've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
Well, I'm married, and
excuse me.
It's your fault.
What the hell?
Your fault.
We'll talk.
Did you just hit her finger with your eyeball?
Yes, I did. That's exactly what I did. Yes.
What did you do?
Gave you the finger with my eyeball.
Yeah, that's just the standard way of being in this house.
Status quo. Status quo. So does that mean you're comfortable taking this off your list for now?
Yes, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, don't forget you're not agreeing to take it off your list forever. You're just agreeing that right now is not the right time.
Yes. Oh my God. It's okay. It's okay. It's not forever. It's going to be all right. So what deck do you want to look at next?
Let's do the Millennial Tarot. Now, did you see our friend Danny Mystic's video on this?
Yes. Oh my God. I almost bought it.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
She is so compelling. So
this is really cool. This is a very cool deck too. It's literally got all of these like Queen of Swag for who run the world. Amazing.
Yeah.
The premise of these is so good. Is it going to let me zoom in properly? Oh yeah, here we go. So the Lovers is the Tinderists.
So unusual. It's so weird, right?
It is. Look at the Devil is the fuckboy. And then, but look at underneath that. There's also a phrase: holding on to past ways that hold you back.
Okay, so it's got. Okay, I love keywords.
I was just going to say you might like this deck.
I'm all about the keywords. Do you prefer keywords on your decks?
I don't rely on them, but I don't mind them.
I rely on them.
So I love the Brady, but I also like Ritual Tarot.
Right. Okay. And where
is it? If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which has nothing on it. Ritual Tarot has like no titles or keywords.
Right. That would make me nuts.
Will this actually play? Okay. All right.
Oh, look.
Okay.
Nice.
This is
So,
really cool.
and I like the way it does the color coding, the edges.
Yeah. Now, what
I really like that on Encore.
What about the cardstock, though?
That is my issue. That is my breaking point. And I think this one's a little bit expensive, isn't it?
Let's see. Oh, well, that's Canadian.
I think it's still something like 60 something US.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Plus shipping.
Yeah.
Now, how do you
I do have, have you ever used this one?
I have seen it, but I don't have it. I did have one similar called the Badass Baby Unicorns Tarot that had the same vibe. It had all the little bubbles and memes and stuff on it.
Oh, like cartoons.
It's got a lot of sassy pants.
See, if I made a deck, that's what it would look like.
Let me make Tammy bigger here. Hold on. There we go.
Now
we can see the cards. Yeah, this one has a lot of sass in it. Yeah. So this definitely has a similar vibe. Do you use this deck a lot?
I don't use it a lot, but when I take it out, I can't help but just look at it and giggle.
Okay. So this deck kind of, in terms of the sass on the deck, kind of matches that deck. So it's kind of, you've got a similar vibe.
Yeah.
Already. Only this one is
plastic. It's plastic and it shuffles good, right?
Yeah. You know me and shuffling. Oh.
Yeah.
Now the Etsy deck doesn't give you any information on the cardstock at all.
Danny gave us information.
No, but Danny did.
Danny did a review. I'll link it down below. And she talked about the cardstock. She has to split it. It's like oversized, plus it's also a stiff cardstock. So you're not going to be able to riffle it easily, it sounds like.
Done. I'm done.
You're like, forget
it. Okay. I would say that's a really pricey deck to be giving it that kind of a look.
Yeah. For that amount of money, you want to be able to shuffle it.
I think because you're going to be spending really close to your budget, and it's not only all about the money, but seeing the look on your face when you're thinking about the cardstock and how it's going to shuffle. It's like you're going to collect. You would be collecting that deck, not necessarily using that deck.
Yes.
Which
right,
and that's something else.
Goes against my basic principles.
Yeah.
Well, and one of the questions that I've usually asked by this point is what do you intend to do with the deck? Are you looking for a deep dive? Are you looking for...
That's a good question, yeah.
I just like to fill in little gaps.
Okay.
And I just did get some birthday money. And so I thought I'm going to be careful about what, what I get.
So to have that kind of look on your face about a deck means that deck's got to go.
The physical handling is a big part of it for a lot of us. It's the tactile experience and it's the way you connect in a lot of ways.
I have a feeling that that's a deck that you're going to enjoy the novelty of it, and then you're going to put it away
because you don't like handling it. Yeah.
You don't like handling it, and you've got a deck that has that novelty value already, and you're not using that to its as much as you could.
True.
Not should. Should is a relative term.
No, should is definitely relative.
But I don't think you're gonna go through that deck because it's cool, but you're never gonna use that.
And
deck.
Who knows? Maybe the creator will put out a version that is on nicer, easier to shuffle cardstock, and then in the future you could look at it again.
Now that could be. People come up with multiple editions of a deck.
Yeah, true. Could happen. Are you giggling at the mood tarot right now? I was like, I can see
the wheel of my butt goes.
Whoa. Wait. Hold it up. We can't hear you. You're laughing too much.
The wheel in my butt goes round and round.
The wheel of my butt goes round and round.
The wheel in my butt.
In my butt.
Yeah.
Well, there's a different problem right there.
Okay, well,
then again, for some people, that's not a problem at all.
I almost bought this deck for Peggy once, and I was like, I don't know if she would.
The wheel in my butt goes round and round. I would probably try to read with that. No, you know what? I've got the tower takeover.
She would love it. She would love it. The only thing is that it is really slippery.
It's plastic.
So it gets away from you.
I've got a couple decks that are kind of novelty. I've got Tower Takeover, which actually reads surprisingly well.
Yeah, you should read it.
And I just never think to use it.
Yeah, it's true. She has to go back to the same one or two decks all the time.
I like my universal. I like my one deck because it's got the meanings right on it. I don't have to. I don't have time to deep dive into decks, which is why I end up not doing. But that's me. We're not here for me.
No,
We're
that's
here
true.
for you. That's always been my problem, and that's why I'm addicted to keywords and stuff like that, because then I can I can practice immediately.
True.
I've always got something to sew, so it's like I don't find time.
Yeah. So are you ditching? So we ditched millennial, right? We're good. It's off
we're
the list.
ditching millennial.
So that means we're down to.
Tell your husband to buy you that deck because he'd like it too.
Yeah, there you go. We're down to then the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery and the last deck you have on your list, which is the Lame Hype Tarot.
Well, I've just spotted the price. It's 94 Canadian, but by the time you're done shipping, you're going to be paying almost that much American.
For one thing, I got a little bit of FOMO about this one. Like if I miss it, it'll go away. Like the what's the Hilda Tarot?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of really was sad that I missed the Hilda Tarot. Not so much anymore, but at first I was.
Yeah.
But this one is even sassier. This one is sassier than Millennial.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's on much better cardstock.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's kind of even dirtier, if you know.
Yeah.
I totally know what you mean. Oh,
So it's unusual. It's just a very different, and I like this kind of 50s motif. I don't have anything like that.
Okay.
This is really different for sure.
Now she's got the card and then the write up along beside it. So the cards, okay, there we go.
That's what the cards themselves
so
look like,
over it, Diva of Pricks, that bastard.
Wait, is there a whole suit of pricks?
The fuckwit.
Yeah.
Okay, I want this deck.
Wait, what card is that though?
Is this the only time this has happened that I have talked Peggy into a deck?
Okay, it's happened once before.
I am really bad for if somebody annoys me. I'm like, oh my god, look at that fuckwit.
She always calls them fuckwits.
I know it's bad.
So the closest I have to this, is
tell us.
Arcane Bullshit.
Oh, I've heard of this one. Let me make you don't have to fight with your camera here. Hold on here. There we go.
This one's really, but it doesn't have. It's not tarot. It's an oracle.
Yeah. Okay. So that one's very irreverent and like.
Yeah.
It's not the same vibe exactly.
But it's not a tarot deck.
No.
Okay.
It's all you, babe. I don't have much to talk her out of.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay. Okay. Like two of the decks that you picked were very like.
Serious and
two were more serious, two are less serious or more play. This is a very, very playful deck. Now, so what is your mood? What has your mood been lately? What kind of a deck? Like,
are you craving the serious?
Are you craving the serious? Are you craving fun? The serious? Craving the fun?
I don't know if I'm particularly craving serious or craving fun, but I do have a couple things going. I think what it is that with the Robert and Place deck, I really want to get back into that book and just study the whole thing at once.
And you have time for that?
I'm going to be going down to Portland for part of July and most of August for the trial from my son's murder.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to have a lot of time there because
it's so
my family won't be there.
Right.
And I got to stay there a week at a time.
You might also really, I mean, my first thought is like, you might want something to dive into to distract yourself, to give yourself that breather too. Like that's going to be like something you can really occupy brain space with. And
exactly.
Yeah. That's a very big tipping point.
Considering what's going on and considering that you've got that going on, I think we're looking at extremes. Are you going to want something to dive into to keep you distracted, or something to get a laugh about, to bring some levity into your day to keep you distracted that way?
Either one.
That's a good point.
Either one or both, right?
I keep thinking that like the deep dive gives you something to occupy your mind with, whereas I feel like the lame hype, while it would bring that fun and brevity, I think it wouldn't take very long to get that from it. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be like you'd have your reading, it would maybe give you some brevity, but then what after that?
I don't know if I would want to have lame hype be like one of 5 decks I took with me.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about
Whereas
what's
if
going to
I
be with
had Alchemical and Sevenfold Mystery and the book, I might only take one or two other decks because that would keep me
you, busy.
If
keep
that,
my mind clicking.
I think I would go. I think I would lean straight to the tarot of the Sevenfold. I mean, I don't want to even. I can't even imagine what this is going to feel like for you. But I don't being. Oh, I'm in the mood for a good time now is probably going to be the last thing on your mind.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, he was a really joyous guy.
Yeah.
He would, he lived life like right on the edge all the time.
Yeah.
So, I know he lived life well.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So having a deck like that so the lame hype could be like a really nice way to like connect and remember and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. But
So
like I'm thinking of this like short-term benefit.
You're off to extremes. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Like the short-term benefit of being able to have something to really dive into. That if I were, I can't even imagine, like Peggy said, but just having something to study, to deep dive into could be, gosh, I feel like that would be so helpful. Just totally projecting my own brain on you, but yeah.
I mean,
I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, but then again, you might wanting to be engaging in those things that will make you feel more connected to him.
Are we good cop bad copying?
I think we're good. Honestly, personally, I would recommend Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery because that's a deep dive. That's a distraction that can help you unwind, turn your brain off from
all the things that are going to be occupying
your brain is going to be going a mile a minute. Put it over here instead of bouncing it back.
That's my hard recommendation.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
That's
I agree. I mean, and I don't need 4 things. I can get just one.
Yes, this is true.
I mean, I would definitely recommend Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery, especially considering when, where, and how you intend on using it currently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a better fit with your budget. And you're going to have, and it does require a bit of a deep dive based on what you want to do with it, and you're going to have the time for it.
I think we've sold her. Have we sold you?
Have we sold you?
Yes. Bring out the stars and balloons.
Yes to Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery.
Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery.
How long does it take to come in? Like, will you get it? You'll get it in plenty of time, I'm assuming.
It doesn't take long.
Good.
And if nothing else, I can get it in Portland.
That's true.
That's true.
Do you
you know what, that could be the recommendation is that you just not buy anything right now, and that's the thing you go pick up while you're in Portland.
Yeah
that could be
the thing that then you have a reason to get out into the world and
do some stuff.
Do
you plan to do a video about the deck not if ideally it comes in?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video about both of them.
Right. Like it's like a side-by-side kind of situation?
Right. Well, when I'm done reading the book and getting into it, because I'm so familiar with Alchemical, I want to do I thought about doing another artist showcase like I did with the Kim Kranz one.
Yeah.
But no, I want to do the 2 decks, just the 2 decks.
Dive into just those.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about it.
That's awesome. I'm excited for you. So everybody, Tamipie's links are down below.
Yeah.
Now we know you're on YouTube as Tamipie. Is there any other social media that you want to mention?
No, not Instagram is my communication device.
Thank you so much for coming on here with us,
thanks
Tammy.
for coming and hanging out.
Everybody make sure you check Tamipie's link down below and subscribe and keep an eye out for her side-by-side
go find
video.
her channel and subscribe to that too.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Tamipie.
Yes, thank you so much.
Keep us posted when the deck comes in. I want to hear how it works out for you.
Yep.
Okay. Bye. We have April from Tarot and Witchery here with us today. Hello and welcome.
Hello. Good to see you guys.
Yay! I'm excited to do this with you. I cannot wait to talk about your list of decks. I'm super excited. Peggy will have to rein me in as per usual, probably, but
I will just kick you down onto the floor and just continue on my own.
I would definitely fight back. That's not gonna
you
work.
Be down on the floor and I'd be okay. Well, anyway, we can discuss that later. Okay.
I'm gonna need Peggy because I'm really just on the fence about all of these, sort of like almost equally tethered to each one. Like, I think I need them all. So I'm glad Peggy's here.
So going into this right up front, do you have a budget?
No.
Okay, then.
Are you willing to buy more than one?
No.
What? I asked April, not you.
You're not supposed to ask those. No, don't.
I'm just
No
wondering.
leading the
So I
witness.
said no, but it might be hard to say no to. Anyway, I want to do just one, but if I can't decide, I will do two.
I'm
This
not
is
trying to
not
help
a
on a good
challenge.
foot.
No, you are not.
I'm gonna help. I'm gonna help. I
Okay,
promise.
now I noticed because I can see the internet tabs that Lisa has here. Are they all Oracle decks or just some of them?
Oh,
They're all Oracle.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're all Oracle.
yeah, I didn't even think about that, but that's a good point. Didn't even notice.
Do you use Oracle by itself, or are you planning on matching an Oracle with the tarot?
Yes and no. Like sometimes yes, sometimes no. So I mean,
Okay.
it doesn't have to be congruent. I mean, I have so many tarot decks. I could probably match any Oracle that I have, and sometimes I do Oracle and Oracle. So yeah, let me give you just a little bit. Like I kind of want to give you like a vibe of what I'm going for. Can I do that?
It.
Okay, let's
Okay.
do that.
All right.
You're
So,
looking
Lisa,
for an
you're-
overall. Okay.
Okay, Lisa, you're probably familiar with most of these decks. So I want something that's very like divine feminine focused.
Okay.
Something that is powerful, that can cut deep, but can also be gentle and kind. So like I love my Witch's Wisdom, which I actually use like an oracle. Okay,
Yes.
you're probably familiar with this. I love this, but this can take a long time to use. I find that it's very intense, the messages.
Yeah.
I love this oracle right here.
Oh, yes. Earth, Moon, and Shadow.
Okay.
But this is like if you want to have your skin ripped off and look at your innards.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So is your Oracle going to be the Band-Aid that puts you back together when it's over?
I think I just want it to be somewhere in between, like okay. So
You don't
somewhere
want it to
in
like
between,
pander to you.
somewhere
but
in
you
between
don't-
this and this.
Yes. Okay. I totally understand what you mean.
Okay,
Song of
do
the
you know what I
Grandmother's Earth,
mean?
Moon, and Shadow. Yes, I
Okay.
totally know what you mean.
Okay.
All right.
So nothing that's too like cuddly, but nothing that's too harsh. You want that nice middle place.
Okay.
Right.
Ooh,
And
I
so
already
one
know
of the
which one I
decks
want you to
I work with regularly is this deck. Lisa, do you have this
Yes.
deck?
Oh yes, Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. I pair it with Wisdom of the Shadow, which I just it's so good.
Which I don't
Okay, you need
have.
to stop.
I don't
It's not
have
helpful.
that. Is that one that I should be looking at? Wisdom of the Shadow?
Oh my god. Okay, so April, you don't have to, but like I did a video where I put them side by side and showed how they work together, and I was getting goosebumps. Like it was so intense. It was, oh my gosh. Anyways, just trust me. Just check out that and then see what you think, because you might need to work with them
trying
together.
to sell her other deck.
This is a separate thing. It's a
No,
side conversation.
No.
This is one of my favorite. When I need to really just touch a part of myself and hear, this deck does it. This deck is so beautiful.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
All right. So you know what I'm going for, though. When I held
So
up
we
those
have the
two decks,
vibe.
You have the vibe.
you got the vibe.
Okay. Let's start with the first one.
Which one do you want to tackle first on your list here?
You pick one.
Okay. Well, these are all okay. We're gonna have a tough time. All right, it's fine. Peggy will help. It's okay.
You don't need any of them. There we go.
We're gonna figure it out. It's gonna be okay.
Just to be clear, I don't need any more. That's not why we're here.
Here.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I want more.
And how big is your collection currently?
I don't know, like 150, 170, something like that.
And do you collect decks just to collect them?
Sometimes, but for the most part, I like to use them. For self-reflection, for personal work.
Okay.
So now I love me some Danielle Delsky. I have several of her books. She's amazing. Her writing is, yes, right there, positively delicious.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's why I chose this deck, thinking that she probably is going to speak to my soul the way she does in her books.
Okay. Oh, and look at her pulling out the copy.
I mean,
that she
I
already
might
has.
as well like have. Okay, let me just switch. I this deck. Okay, I'm not trying to sell you on everything, but I will say one of the things that I have found really interesting about this is very rich. I feel like it's very ritual focused. So I feel like when you pull a card, it does have that. It literally says, what is it? Grandmother Speaks in here. So when you talk about like a deck that falls between the Song of the Grandmother and the Earth, Moon, and Shadow, this has like this bit of like sort of the flowery writing that Danielle Volsky does in this Grandmother Speaks section. And then there's a morning and a moonlight ritual for every single card in the deck.
Wow. No, that's something I love. Something that puts me into action with it.
Yeah, there is a con in the sense that the cards have titles, but the titles don't have
Did you write those in?
I did. That's what I was gonna say. They don't have keywords on them or anything. So I actually went through with a gold Sharpie and added them on my deck. So I'll just
okay. So you're going to be doing. You're going to be doing a lot of.
So I have like, this is embodiment.
Okay.
This one is wild.
But you had to write that down.
But I wrote them from the guidebook.
But unless you take the time to write them down, you're going to be working with
the guidebook,
with the imagery, because this just says Hag of Storms.
Yeah, or Hag of Cats.
Is that something that you do a lot of?
Yeah, where you work with the guidebook.
I do sometimes not. I'll go with just and I think Peggy, you and I are both the same in that we both like keywords. We're both keyword people when it comes to oracles. I really do prefer them to have, but it's not like I couldn't write them on there. Will I? I don't know. It's like I keep saying I'm going to edge a zillion decks, but have I? I do work with the book. I do like, I do like a good book that allows me to go deep and possibly even causes me to jump off down a rabbit hole researching something. So
researching something.
So do you have the time and the bandwidth for that right now?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes.
I don't know that this one is as research heavy as maybe some of the other decks would be.
Okay,
like
well, I don't know. We haven't got there yet. This is just the interrogation phase of the program.
The interrogation phase. I will say that the way the guidebook is written, I've never read this and felt like I needed to go anywhere else for information, because I feel like it's not really trying to focus in on myths or specific deities or anything like that. It's very much like this general kind of crone, haggish energy. And while there are links, you can see them if you know what you're looking for to other sort of myths and stories. I don't ever feel like I have to go down that rabbit hole with this. So, but the guidebook it's really good.
Okay. So one of the cons for this deck for me, everybody out there, please don't hate me for this, that the illustration style reminds me of, oh my gosh, I just blanked out on it. It's she's from the Pacific Northwest. It's a tarot deck. Oh my gosh, I can't believe Kim Krantz.
Oh, Wild Unknown Kim Krantz.
Yes. Really? Everybody don't hate me, but it's not really my thing.
Okay, so I would say that, obviously we've got nothing to compare against yet.
Truth.
Right. So we can move on to the next deck.
True.
And see how, and then they can start going head to head and see who survives to the end.
There's no easy elimination at this point.
Yeah,
it's not. I've been like just toiling over this since we first talked about what I was going to talk about, and it's just gotten worse.
What deck would you have paired that with, by the way? What deck would you pair this? What deck would you pair it,
or would you work with it by itself?
I would probably work with it by itself, but I might pull out something like, if I wanted to do a clarifier, I'm more likely to choose like a power card. I love just doing like power cards. So
that's like like an affirmation style.
Yeah, sort of like an affirmation or something like this. Do you have the Deep Place Oracle?
No, I don't think I've even seen that. Is it good? Should I write it down? I'm going to write it down.
No, you don't need to write it down.
It's so good. And I have it on my, I think I have it on my 6 underrated oracles. I have to go back and look because I really want to do something more on this deck because it is so good.
Okay, I must have missed it somehow.
Yeah.
I've made a note to myself. Okay. I will check that out later.
So what is the next deck? What is the next deck before you start shopping?
I'm going to pick for you if you don't mind. I think we should talk about the Weaver's Oracle next because this is actually, I actually duped, like in my dupes video, I think I actually presented the Sacred Hags as an alternative to the Weaver's Oracle because there's things there that I feel like they have in common.
Okay.
I don't think they're identical by any stretch at all, but I feel like the Sacred Hags does in a mass market way what I think the Weaver's Oracle does in a much, much deeper, richer way. I don't know how else to say that.
So is it all faces?
You've seen this one. It's like this.
It's been a while, though.
It has been a while. So this is what the artwork's like.
Okay.
Let me just zoom it in so you can see. These were actually painted in these giant like murals, like on ladders to finish them. Like yeah. So tell us what draws you to this one.
Okay, whoa, can you bring that back up?
This feels really ancient to me. It feels like the type of oracle that will speak to me without words. It can convey feelings and stir me in a way where I think with this oracle, the way that I would work with it is I would probably just meditate on the picture and kind of try to connect.
Okay.
And then I would go to the book to go deeper with it. And I want to thank Truth and Story for doing an amazing review of this for me to look at. But she sells everything that she puts on. So it's
Truth.
Truth. You're bad for that too sometimes.
Yeah.
Anything a lack of keywords.
This one is really about the book, really, truly. Like the artwork is stunning and it's incredible. But the book goes into like, it's very, if you like Daniel Dolsky's writing, I feel like the writing in the guidebook is going to be enjoyable for you. For me, it felt almost too like abstract. Like it's very much like myth, like almost like reading a myth that's really rich in symbolism, but you kind of have to untangle and unpack it. It's not going to say this card means this. It's much more meandering than that. Like it's not like it's not
so
like a
this
sprint.
Is also so
it's like a stroll.
So you're going to get the best effect out of this deck by doing the deep dive.
Oh, I would say at least working with only like a card at a time, or like working with it really slowly. It's rich. It's like having like a really decadent dessert. You don't want to have like a whole bunch of it at once.
Okay. So now what is it? Do you have can you come up with a deck off the top of your mind that you would pair with this one? Or would you be using it by itself?
I would probably, let me look over here. I got to see. I think I would probably pair this with the Brady Tarot.
Ooh, okay. Interesting.
This deck is awesome. It's one of my favorite decks. Thank you, Martin, for turning me onto this deck. It's an all animal, not normally my thing, but the feel of this is also very tribal. I also like the messages are, you're saying with the Weaver's Oracle, kind of what I get from that is, when you read the I Ching, it's kind of like sky, moon, this, and then you go, oh, and you kind of sit and think about it. And so I feel like this sort of leaves me thinking as well, which you might think, well, why would you use that for a clarifier? But when I have something that's that vague, I kind of want something else to be vague with it so that I can sort of draw my own picture, my own conclusion. So I think this is probably one of my favorites.
I could see those working together for sure.
Here's the first curveball. Are either because this is on a separate website. So how available are these decks? Are these decks both mass market, commonly available? You don't have to worry
about... Sacred Hags is mass market.
Yeah. And Weaver's Oracle?
This one's indie.
So when it's gone, is there any FOMO, fear of missing out?
That's a fair question because I do feel like there's a little bit of FOMO with the Weavers. There's a little bit of FOMO there. For real. If I'm being honest, I feel like to me, the Weaver's Oracle feels like one of these decks that I might not take out that often because it would be, I would probably draw one card and work with that and leave it out for a while and kind of ponder it and work with it maybe over a month.
Yeah.
So
that's how I work with it.
I'm wondering if it's going to be too intense for what I'm wanting right now.
It depends when you mention that you want something that's going to be gentle and kind and also cut deep, I would say this can do that, but my caveat to it is always what I found was that it wasn't something where it's like, I need a message. I'm going to sit down and get a message. It felt like I needed to untangle and unpack it. Almost like, if you have a piece of jewelry that's like a little bit twisted, you've got to kind of like slowly loosen it up.
This is where I'm at a disadvantage because I don't work with Oracle.
I know.
Like at all. I've just never clicked.
I know.
Never clicked.
I think between this and Sacred Hags feels like I can work with a different card a day, for example, whereas with Weavers, I would say like weeks, maybe a month, like you said.
But that's fine. But then which one do you feel is going to be so which one do you like right now, right this second, which one do you feel you'll actually get the most out of? Because it isn't about how many cards you use. It's about what you're getting out of it.
That's so good, Peggy. I do think I want something that I can work with more. So I'm going to say Daniel Dolsky would trump this one. I also have her book. So that was a good question, Peggy.
Yeah. So then you could probably let Weaver's.
You can probably let Weaver's Oracle.
Well,
go.
let's not say that.
She's like, wait, don't be so hasty.
We don't have to let it go right this minute.
We don't have to cut it right away.
We'll just say that we're ranking it right now.
We'll just sort of rank it.
Okay, we can rank it, but I think we're ranking Sacred Hags, sorry, above the Weaver's Oracle.
Above the Weaver. Yes. Okay, I'm comfortable with that.
Now, don't forget. I mean, there's no rules here that
we're
you
not
have to
actually
follow.
the police.
We're not going to come and take the other decks away. So,
can you imagine the horror?
We've had some people decide to buy 2 decks. We've had some people decide.
You've talked people into buying 2 decks.
I've talked people into buying 2 decks based on what they needed.
All right, so we'll table it for now. We'll put them in order.
Okay.
Which one? Do you have an opinion about which one we cover next?
No, just go for it.
Okay.
Surprise me.
Snag one here. The Power of the Yin Oracle deck.
I was actually sent this deck, and I did a review on it. I sat with it for quite a while. What you can see the art style on that, and you could see how you could even use that Oracle with this Oracle.
Let me pull your
it's got a buddy.
Oh, yeah. I could see how those would look so neat together.
You know, they definitely would go. They're really earth tones. I have like the Fenestra Tarot. Do you have that one?
No, but I have had it in my possession at one point.
Right. So the Fenestra Tarot would go really nicely with this one. Now, what you'll notice is that you don't have any keywords on the front of here. However,
and these are the sample cards, right? These are like
the sample cards. Yes.
Yeah.
This is just the sample cards that were sent. They are so evocative. And what you have is on the back. You have everything right there. So you've got your keyword and everything. So I kind of like the fact that I don't have any keyword up front. Like in my mind, I can just kind of fall into the images, and it's very powerful. It's also soft. The backs of these are so interesting. Like some of them have they have poetry to them sort of on the back. So again, they're a little ethereal in a way because they don't pin down the message. It's not like you're getting this card means this, and she's holding a raven, and the raven symbolizes that. You know, you don't really get that, but I do
more
like
fluid.
that.
But is that what you're
it's much more.
Ooh.
In some ways, yes. In some ways, I am looking for something that's very watery.
Okay.
I was just gonna say all 3 decks that we looked at so far, they all have this kind of flow to them. Like they're not, they've got a little bit, like Daniel Dulski's writing has a bit of that poetry to it. So does Weaver's Oracle, and it sounds like so does this. So they all have that sort of languid quality.
Yeah. But I think like Daniel Dulski, in who she is, she has, to me, she comes off as with a lot of fire.
Agreed.
And a lot of air. So she's got that sort of, for lack of better words, more masculine, divine masculine flowing through her work, where I feel like this is pretty much like earth and water. I don't get a ton of fieriness to it. And so I like, this is so beautiful, and it reminds me of this right here, but I'm wondering, is it too much like this? You know how
I mean, when I think of the wisdom of the divine feminine, and then I look at those cards you showed, my gut feeling is that they have a similar vibe for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like if you're looking to shake up your current routine in any way, I don't know that that's a big, my opinion. I don't know if it's a big enough departure from what you're doing now to present that freshness to your practice, you know?
I think I do want something that kind of shakes me a little bit. It's enough of a departure that it's slightly challenging. Because I mean, the definition of flow is something that's just challenges us enough to get us into a space.
A little push.
Yeah.
So I think when I think about it like that, I think Daniel Dulski is still at the top, because The art is a bit of a challenge for me, but there's enough of a comfort with her writing style.
Yeah, so it's like there's a bit of there that's like coming home, but there's that edge. Yeah, interesting.
Nice. So yeah, okay.
How long have you had that set of that mini set, the sample?
That's a good question.
2 months maybe.
And you still haven't bought it.
I still haven't bought it because I was worried. That is. I was worried that it's too much like this. I'm trying to be really good about diversifying my collection. I mean, if you were here, you would see like, oh, everything's so fairy and super witchy. And
whether or not you're going to go back for for this deck later, I don't think this is a deck you should be thinking about as your next deck. Because I think if it would really hit you the way you wanted to be hit, you would have already ordered it. You've already bought it.
That's a very good point.
But this one would go really good with this
I didn't say never. I didn't say never. I think it's a not now.
But wait, have you ever paired the Wisdom of the Divine Feminine with the Song of the Grandmothers?
No, I find by the time I've done this,
you're done.
I'm usually drawing tarot. I think you're right. Okay, I'm going to take this one off.
Whoa!
But what I will suggest, because I saw the way you were reacting.
Oh gosh,
I saw the way that you were physically. Oh, this is awesome. Have you shuffled these cards and used them with readings yet, or are you just? I really want more of this. Or have you actually used them as is?
I have not used them with much of anything else. I do feel like I'm missing, just 13 cards is a.
Yeah.
I think you can test it. I think you should do it anyway. Test it because. If it's if it's a deck that you should be getting in the future, then if you
test advice, do some test readings and
do some test
even
readings,
if there's only a few cards.
Do some test readings, see what you feel like, and then you'll know whether or not that's a deck you really want to order or not. But as much as you're in love with the cards that you've got, you haven't. Yeah, I think it's your not now deck.
Yeah,
I'm
happy you're making decisions. It's amazing.
Today.
Okay, that's good. That's one. I'm still not. Yeah, I'm still not crossing off.
More to count will. We're good. We're making progress.
We're getting there. We've got to eliminate 3 more of these.
I know.
4 if I want to roll.
Yeah. Well. Hey, now, don't be too hasty. Let's talk about.
Well, stop trying to talk people into buying your decks.
What? No. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm no promises. Let's talk about.
No promises and no help.
Wrong screen. How do I share it? Okay. Let's talk about the Compendium of Witches. I don't have this, so therefore I might not try to talk you into it. But Dawn does and has been talking about it a lot lately.
Okay. These are the keywords I see.
Let me pull up the images. Okay. So yes, question mark? Let's get a bigger card. Oh, no, titles.
A name.
Melissa Vulva?
Vulva. Everybody's got a name.
Familiar. Oh, that's right. Because this one, I think Dawn Michelle sometimes breaks this into 2 piles. There's like sort of like the witches or the whatever. And then there's like their objects or their like magical associate. I don't know how this works.
Yeah, you have, it's kind of a system where you I guess you could draw a witch and then draw some of the other cards to go with it to kind of talk how to work with her power or her message. And I love the art style on this. I really love it. I love the contrast in the colors. I could see using it with the Unfolding Path and liking it. Yeah. I mean, I don't have any lack of I could even see using the Dark Grimoire Tarot with this. For
interesting pairing.
A different type of reading. So, okay, go ahead with your questions. Fire off.
Well, there's no keywords, so do we know anything about what kind of information is in the book?
I do know that there is information about each witch, like kind of her like her story, and then kind of there's the meaning of the card, and then there's something else at the end. I can't remember.
Like another bit chew on.
Yeah, just one little bit, like maybe work with it like this, like a prescriptive thing, maybe. So I like this one. I feel like I could get it anytime.
Yeah, it's mass market, readily available.
That was one of the points I was actually thinking about. It's like, well,
it might not feel like a special purchase right now. It feels like something you could just like, you know,
30. Well, the
toss
price
in your card and
the price. Yeah, it's $30 Canadian.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's US price.
Oh, that's the US price. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's US.
Yeah, I mean,
today, yeah.
It also, I just have to say this, I'm not a fan of Llewellyn cardstock. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I do really like the art style though.
Well, I was leaning in because I saw
sorry.
no. It's 30 witches and then 30 other cards depicting magical symbols such as
60.
familiar, offering, and oath. It's a 60 card deck, but only 30 actually has witches on it. The rest all have things that associate with witches.
That's what I was saying earlier about Dawn breaks them up into 2 piles. And
yeah.
Like, kind of pairs them almost like they're 2 decks. That you can work side by side.
I didn't. I was busy looking at the.
No, it's
thing.
okay.
I didn't notice that, but.
You know, it's kind of interesting that you bring that up, Peggy, because I think I would rather have a deck that has more
Divine feminine
figures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more figures to work with. I have all these other decks to use, so
to pair with.
I don't think this deck matches what you're looking for right now.
Also, your energy kind of, I don't know, you kind of dropped just a little bit when this deck came up. You're like, well,
yeah,
it's like
it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It doesn't necessarily. Only half of the cards are embodying what you're looking for. The other half complement those cards, but you're not going to get 60 divine feminine, 60 witches. You're not getting that. You're only getting 30, and then the rest are what accompanies that. I don't think it matches what you've said you're looking for right now.
It's a very good point.
Yeah, I'm feeling like I just have this feeling like, oh, I could get this anytime, which is not like I need this right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can take that one off.
I think that
more decisions.
We can take that one
I
off.
like it. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, I am zero help with this next one, and I apologize in advance for my enthusiasm.
Okay, this isn't about your enthusiasm.
I know.
Stop.
I'm going to try to be good.
I'm
going to try to be good. Okay, let me just share the screen. Hold on. This is me being good. I'm being good. We're talking about the Goddess on Earth Oracle.
That insane sound
this is pretty special.
This is so special. Okay, I said I was going to try to be good. You tell us what you think. I'm going to try not to bias you.
I feel like this is very, very special deck. I love that it's one of the things I like about this is that there are actual people living attached to each one of these cards who in many ways take that goddess and make her very present right now by giving her thoughts on why she embodies that, like what makes her the connection to that. And that is a really big, I don't normally go for photographic decks, but this is like, look at that. Artemis is like amazing.
Stop. She is not helping. Look at her.
I have it.
She's losing. Do you have it?
I have it.
Oh, you
and
have
I also have the big coffee table book.
Oh, you do?
Oh. This is like, I'm not normally a photography deck person either.
This is the only one that has keywords on the cards.
It has a phrase, dwell in your power. This is, I will say, oh my gosh, it lost my face, but that's okay. We don't care. We're going to hold up more cards. I will say that this one, to me, feels like you can use it right out of the box, and it's so powerful. You don't need the guidebook because you get so much from these images and the messages, but the guidebook is also so good. And it was really, this project, I think there's just so much intention behind it. It doesn't feel, I don't want to say this badly. Some decks feel not rushed, but like, you know what I mean? They have that kind of like surfacey energy. This does not. This just feels, every part of it feels very, very deep and powerful.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Now, have you bought photographic decks in the past?
Yes. And I have some. I have some in my collection. So,
do you still use them?
The ones that I still have. I've gotten rid of some.
Oh no!
I have gotten rid of some.
Okay, you're losing your mind. How are you feeling about this? Okay.
I love this deck so much.
I think what I'm kind of coming to with this one is that as we talk is that I'm really wanting something that is going to help me to connect with myself right now and the changes that I'm going through. And I'm really in this powerful transitory place where I want the messages to really help me. I guess I want the cards to help me connect with the message. I don't want it to be so disembodied. And so I like that about this one. Like I really like how it makes it accessible. Yeah, I mean, it's just
wow. And you get to
this feels aesthetically, by the way, a little bit like the Brady Tarot, the cardstock. It's thinner. It's like more flexible, but yeah.
So we've talked about the need to use the guidebooks and the need to deep dive for the other 2 decks. So having the keywords right on there, that lets you get straight into the card itself. Does that change your perspective on the other 2 decks?
So I think that I'm kind of leaning between Danielle's deck and this deck. I do feel like they both have enough that they're like the divine feminine right now. They're taking these archetypes and making them accessible in this moment. And that is very powerful to me. And it makes me feel as though, and I have looked at, I will say this is just a little thing. But Danielle's deck is one of those split the cards in 2 thing. And that drives me nuts.
It's terrible. It's not great. They're not even. Mine doesn't shuffle super off. Like it's fine, but like it's not a connecting experience for me working with the physical product.
Okay, but that can happen with any deck. As a collector though, how does that
I'm a box whore, you guys. So I mean the box on I am. It's just I have to be honest. The box on this one is really, really nice. I mean, like it's a whole experience. Like you're getting this whole thing, like, you know, and you're talking about the cardstock. Is it gilded?
It is. It's got a gorgeous like copper colored gilding.
I love gilding.
And it's a very smooth rose petal. So it does have that rose petal feeling, a lot like the Brady, but I would say, but it's not, I mean, you can kind of see it moving. It moves better than the Brady Tarot.
It's not the kind where you can't.
What are we looking at for price point?
Oh, we didn't even look at prices.
Because she doesn't have a budget.
Weavers is probably the most expensive.
For anybody who's playing along at home.
Weavers is probably the most. Weavers, then I would say Weavers, then this one, and then the other 2 are mass market, right? Sacred Hags, and we already eliminated the other one. So of the 3 that are left, it would go Weavers, then this one, then Sacred Hags. This one would win out if you get the big book, the big beautiful art book to go with it. But
well,
but this book comes with it, and it's wonderful.
What I'm going to point out is that you can work with the keyword, or you can deep dive.
Yeah.
The other 2 decks, Sacred Hags and Weaver's Oracle, you have to work with the books. You don't get
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm in a hurry today. I don't want to, I'm just going to use my intuition and not look at the book. You don't get to do that because there's no keywords.
Well, you can, but it's more work, basically.
That's a personal thing to me. That's one of the reasons why I never really connected with Oracle is the lack of keywords. The lack of, you have to either deep dive or don't bother.
So good.
Does that matter to you?
You're so naughty. So naughty.
Oh yes, this is what
I can't help it. I really love this one.
So tell me, Lisa, what you think about the messages in this book. Like,
what I love about this and the way that the book is written is that you get the attributes. You get a little bit of information about who's being depicted in the card. You get a perspective. So this is from, like it's like a quote or something. How does this work? Because I'm trying to remind myself now. I think the perspective is the person posing for the photo, giving sort of their feelings. And then you have an action. So like, for example, I have water spider here as one of the cards, and the action. So the attributes are, at the dawn of time, all the animals were cold. The only flame that existed was in the hollow of a sycamore tree located on a remote island. Every animal that could fly or swim attempted to bring it back. So it gives you like a little bit about the history of that sort of archetype. And then you get the perspective, and then you get an action. So here it's courage requires faith. And it talks about the seed of courage is planted with each conscious decision we make. And then it kind of goes on from there. So the action piece feels like it's not just like, here's what this figure is about, or here's what this archetype is about. It's like, here's how you apply this to life, like your way of being in the world. Here's how you take this and embody it. That's what I love about it. This one is face dark, and it talks about facing the dark. And so it ties in whatever the message is on the card with something you can take from that and then apply.
See, I think like I said, is
now are some of these known archetypes?
Oh yeah. So they're all based
Sorry,
on
Maggie.
real. No, it's okay.
It's okay. You two enjoy yourselves.
What's beautiful about it is it gives you the name. So here we have it says on this side of the book, it'll tell you who it is. Then on the other side, it tells you what they are, like where they're from. So I can't pronounce this one. Hine Titania, I think, of the god Tane. Yeah, Hine Titama. Thank you. Goddess of the afterlife. But then it says Polynesia and Maori. So it's very specific. Okay. So if you want to dig into it, you can. Like double goddess, here it talks about twin female figures, Neolithic and Bronze Age culture.
So you're gonna so the deep dive.
Maya Hindu is goddess of illusions. So it gives you like there's no guesswork. Like, you know, you don't have to try to make the connection and go, oh, is that Baba Yaga? Like, you'll know who you're dealing with.
Okay.
Cool.
But you can also use it. Okay, for me, the only thing that I can point out is that you can use it as a deck, just going by the keywords.
You can, absolutely.
So you can deep dive one day, not deep dive the next.
There are a few animals in here.
But you've mentioned on the Weaver's Oracle and the Sacred Hag, you mentioned that the plus to you was the deep dive.
True.
So is it a plus to you to be able to skip that part? How do you get to decide that part?
You know, it's interesting. I think I want something that creates a jumping off point for my mind for the day or the week. And so that could be that I sort of drift with those thoughts if I want. And that could be that I decide to dive down a rabbit hole if I want. Yeah. But I don't necessarily, I think right now I need something that's not too labor intensive. Like, I think that was a really good point that you made earlier, Peggy, because I feel as though, I mean, one of the things I like about this deck is that I just have no trouble pulling this out and being satiated by it. But it also has, like, she has exercises. She's got, you know, I mean, you could take this further or you could just take it at face value.
You have options. Yeah.
I think this is like that, to be honest. Just saying. Weavers to me is much more of a, I don't think it's as easy to open up the Weaver's Oracle guidebook, for example, and immediately know what it's telling you or take a message away that you can, to me, it's harder.
Well, it is a deep dive.
That could be a personal thing. Yeah, it feels very much like a deep dive. Sacred Hags in this one feel like they would do a similar job for you. So then I think it's really at that point, because they seem similar in their formatting. Like, they give you a message. They also give you a piece you can do, take it into your life. Sacred Hags has more of a defined ritual to do, whereas this is much more like taking themes and concepts into your day. Whereas Sacred Hags is like, hey, charge some moon water tonight and like do this kind of thing. So I feel like Sacred Hags is more specific. This is a little more expansive or open with what its suggestions are.
And of course, this is not about not being allowed to go back and get the other decks later, but it's like, so it's like, which deck is resonating the most strongly based on what your current needs are. You need to stop.
I'm helping.
You're helping.
It says, hear the cries on this one. I love that it doesn't just name the goddess on here. It actually gives you the vibe first, and then lets you go deeper. Which I like if you don't want to work with it as if you're working with very specific figures, right?
So I think that we can. This is so hard. I think that we can eliminate. The Weavers for now.
I think we can.
I think so too. I think it's really for you, the Daniel Dolphin deck in this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm on like one of these game shows, and like they're like, I don't know.
This is the game. I don't know what to do. This is the game where you pick your own prize and you pay for it too.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say that you seem to be the most of the two that are left. I do think you're more excited about Sacred Hags. And I do think that that's probably the better choice for you.
Because,
but I think you've implied that you don't necessarily. I'm making a snap judgment based on things that you have said. It's up to you to tell me if I'm right or wrong. I get the impression that you don't necessarily have as much time for those deep dives as you'd like, which makes this the winner, because at least then you can start with the keywords and get a head start so that you can deep dive at your leisure later and still have a usable deck in the meantime.
Okay, here's what we're going to do, you guys.
Okay, what do we do?
Grab that Sacred Hags deck so you have both the decks.
Okay.
And then, Lisa, I want you to just pull a card from each one for me and show me.
Okay. All
right. Like shuffle it like you're pulling a card. Yeah, you guys.
This is a unique. Why, hello, Bruno. Bruno's up here helping.
This is what this deck is going to offer me during this next season. Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
So Sacred Hags is first. And the card I got. Okay, hold on. Rough Places, Season of the Wild Wolf.
Ooh. Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Okay.
Got some shit that's going to be coming up.
Rough Places. Well, that's interesting as what it's going to offer you. Season of the Wild Wolf is that's interesting for what you described the phase you're in right now. Being with a little bit of that edge. Oh, okay. I'm going to take the jumper. Live large.
Ooh.
Live large. Oh, it's that one. It's that one. It's that one. That's the one. That's the one. That's what I'm wanting from right now. Truly, I've been really this next season for me is really about being as authentic as I can, coming from my core and letting myself come out and be as bright and as true to myself as I can. That's the deck.
Face and yes, I love it. You know, I approve because this is my favorite from the beginning. So I'm really glad.
Not as helpful.
You picked right. Good job.
You picked right. You picked right. That is not what you should be saying.
Why don't you think this sounds like the right deck for me? Come on now. You were even leaning this way, Peggy. Peggy, you were even leaning this way towards this deck. You were even leaning towards this deck.
It's true.
You
did.
I mean,
it feels the most usable right out of the gate. I think it's so powerful.
You seemed almost equally as interested in both the decks. You did mention early on that the lack of keywords is sometimes an annoyance or a detriment, or however you want to put it. And this has all of the same stuff, the same ability to deep dive.
Yes.
But the ability to just open the box and go, so you get a twofer kind of. You can do you can do either.
Let's make it official. Both. So you are officially saying yes to the deck for Goddess Honor.
I am officially saying yes to the deck. Yay! This is so good because this was so hard.
It's hard. She loses her bloody mind. It's
not easy times. No.
When you decide to play the game.
It's fun though. I think you're gonna really be happy with that one. Are you gonna do a video walkthrough on your channel or some sort of unboxing or something?
Maybe. We'll see. Maybe. I haven't been doing a lot of unboxings. I am going to be doing another before you buy, but I'm doing it on Unfolding Path. So
nice.
I don't know.
We never did check. Your YouTube channel is Tarot and Witchery. Yes. Any other socials that you need to share, want to share, would like to share?
Nope. I would tell people if you're really interested in what I'm doing, go to my channel and sign up for my newsletter because that's where the fun stuff's going to start rolling out. So
all on the newsletter. Yay! Okay, so make sure you subscribe. April's links will be in the description box down below. So everybody, please check it out. And thank you so much for coming on with us, April. This was so much fun.
Thank you for helping me navigate this, Peggy. You had so many good. Wait a minute, you're a good devil's advocate.
It's my job. I will tell you right now, because if I had not learned that skill early on, we would have 1,000 decks in this house by now.
Yep. Thanks, April.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thanks
joining
for
us.
Out.
Make sure you subscribe,
do all the things.
And definitely visit everyone's channels and check them out.
Hit the notifications. That's the bell.
Do that, the bell.
The bell.
It dings.
So you catch the next one.
Yep. All right, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.